Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Thursday. It's June 22nd. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and um, this is going to wrap it up for the week. No chart lessons on Fridays, and today's not going to be very long because there wasn't much going on today. I actually got an email from somebody, and it was titled "Rubbish" or maybe a load of rubbish or something of that nature. And I just shook my head because I knew what he was about to say, and I opened it up, and he just, he's basically talking about the day we had today, and that's about as good a way as I could describe it as well as a load of rubbish. There's just nothing happening today, and there was a couple of different ways to look at it. In the end, we had this channel working up, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't really play that channel. It didn't really help you until maybe this last trade of the day. We had more of a range here, and it got really, really tight right in here before it bounced and went higher. And then once it did, oops, you just measure that like so, and you look for a measured move. And you see, we missed it by a tick. We couldn't even get the measured move up there. So it's just really not much happening today. It was just kind of a weak day. I mean, we really had a little bit of an upward bias, but you really didn't know that till here. It's just really sideways, just really tight right in here. So I don't even like taking these trades. I marked them all. They're there. But even those are just nothing sticks out that's really great about them. So um, it just wasn't much happening today. So I'm going to talk about the trades. We're going to wrap this week up, and we'll be back. Won't be back again to do it till Monday because no chart lessons on Friday. So, but let's talk about the trades. No sense in beating around the bush. I'll get this uploaded. It's not going to be long. Um, when the regular session opens and we're still trading within the upper and lower trend channel line, you know it's probably going to be a range day. With it being that small, your only hope is that you get a two-tier channel, which that's what it turned out to be. And I talked about that in my mid-morning chart as well, that there was a good chance that maybe um, would there were two tiers of this thing would get a measured move up, and we almost did. We missed it by a tick, but regardless, we it's a range day, and really for the first half of the day, it was a very tight one, 6 or 7 points there, and then by the end of the day, we barely moved that much again. So just not much happening. But let's talk about the trade. So we came off the bottom here. We got a high. We've got a low. We're working up when I came in. We're really kind of going sideways here. But this is a two-legged correction. You got a move down, a move up, a move down, and you get a second entry long right there. There's not a whole lot of room to this high, but this is the high we're probably shooting for at this point. So this one, and it's not really a great signal bar either. And you could almost argue that that's sideways. So this is so borderline, I could make it green or blue. But we weren't to the high, and that's probably where we were headed, even if it's a range day. And this was the first close outside this little bit of a trend line, if you want to call it that, because there's no real confirmation of that. We've got two swings there, and then it closes outside before it goes higher. So you can't even really confirm that trend line. So I could have made this green just as easy as I made it blue. Um, and maybe it should be green, but I'll be honest with you, I like that trade just for the reasons I just discussed, that we were probably going to test this high. And and that's exactly what prices did. And then we pull back. Notice you got one leg down, correction, second leg down, then you kind of go sideways. Honestly, you probably could have decided to go long here, let it break above, and maybe drop a limit order in, and that would have got you here. But it actually, you could have entered here on this bar. You're entering on this bar regardless, so I didn't mark this one. And really, you can treat this like a little failed break lower is really what you're doing. And then this is a higher low that closes back inside the smaller range here. And at that point, this is really like a midpoint. between this high and this low. And so you're back above that. So I figure you're going to probably go back to the high again. And really, the way I was looking at it was not so much this is a midpoint now. I'm just looking at this as the trading range. But really, in the end, it's for all intents and purposes, it is a midline. So, but I like that one. Of course, it goes right back to the top. If you've got enough room to get out before this high, take it. Same thing coming back down. I kind of like this one to the downside, just simply because you've had this high, you've tested it 1, 2, 3 times, and could be a double test of this high. It went higher first and turns, and when it went out the other side, I'd go short right there. If you waited on this bar and put your stop there, I don't know if you got enough room. You still would have got out, but I think what you'd want to do if you waited on this bar to close is you need to let it break lower and then drop a limit order back at the hive here or a tick back, whatever it takes to get out before where this support line is here, just to be safe. It would have worked either way, but you don't know that in advance, so you got to play it safe. I don't like going long here because that's too neutral. That's a doji. That's a perfect neutral doji. It does come back and give you a higher low, but now you don't have enough room to get out. And notice you would have probably got burned. But maybe you take that one to the downside simply because it's a failed. Notice you got a new high, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. It fails. It's really a double top right there. And that's a fairly bearish bar. Your stop does have to go above this bar to take that trade, but you're really kind of using this. And anytime you use an inside bar, it's kind of, but this was pretty obvious a range, and it was just tightening it up. And as long as you had room to get out before here, then I'd be okay with it. Again, you try to go lower 2 times. You get a second entry long here with a nice reversal type bar with being able to get in way down here near the lows, so you got plenty of room to get out. So I like that one. And you could even treat this one like a little failed break lower, because look at all those lows, and you get that little move lower. So you might have tried to even hold a runner here. I don't know that I recommend it on this one because this is such a tight range. But if you had of, you would have got a nice move out of it. It just shoots right through, keeps going. And if you pulled your trend line up to here and then measured your measured move, you'd have a target along this line and a target up here. And it turns out this trend channel line turns out to be it. So, but at that point, like I said, I'm not really playing this as a channel. That's an up channel or a bull channel or an upward bias channel, or however you want to describe it. I'm playing this more as a range. And at that point, I'm looking for, when we go higher, this measured move here. So there's actually a failed second entry short right there. Notice that's a new low. Actually, it's right here. There's a new low. First entry, second entry. But we just broke out of this range, so there's a good chance it might fail. And it's right into those highs. You know we're probably still shooting for this, and we're probably shooting for this. So you might have taken that. I say skip it. It does work. But on a day like this where you're having a hard time finding an entry, maybe you want to risk it. I don't know. When it comes back again here, that's a pretty good clue. It's probably going to go higher. But then you're just kind of going sideways too. So I don't think I'm going to take that one either. We finally get a second entry long here. Notice we keep working up. You pull back first entry, pull back second entry. And notice how you've got that double bottom, and it looks like a little failed break lower. But we're not back to the trend line. So that kind of concerned me. If this is a channel, and this line is really playing out well up here, and if this is a trend line, we've had a break and a new high in place. So this is just risky, especially when this next bar doesn't go higher and this one doesn't close on its high. Again, it fits, it fits our criteria. It's a second entry long. It's 2 legs back. It's 2 measured legs for that matter. Failed break lower. there's several reasons to consider entering there, but at the same time, it's just not a great setup. So I marked it green because I know somebody will ask about it. And then finally, you do come back to the lows here, and there's one leg and then a two-legged correction. And so if you get a measured leg here, you've probably got two legs down and two legs in the middle. So you're probably going to get another measured leg up like this one in most cases. That doesn't happen, but you have enough to get out before you get to this high. If you go long just above that bar, you do have to put your stop below this bar because that's the low of the swing. So if you wanted to take, that's the only trade I saw in the afternoon that I'd probably consider taking and making it either red or blue. So and it got just enough. It got your 5 ticks, so you would have been able to scalp out with 4 ticks, and then the bottom fell out of it. So that's why we only go for 4 ticks. We've got this down to a science. So people will contact me and say, well, what if I go for 5 or 6 ticks? Unless you're really trying to swing trade on a consistent basis, you need to go for 4 ticks if you're going to scalp. It's just the bottom line. That's the key to it. Don't try to get one extra tick. And I've had people try to do it and go for 1 or 2 ticks. And obviously, if you can get 4 ticks, it's going to be easier to get 1 or 2 ticks. But I just think that's impossible to make it work because it only takes 1 4 or 6 tick loser to wipe out 2 or 3 trades. And you got to trade almost 95% to make any money to 100%, and you just can't do that. So there's going to be losing trades. So I just don't see that working, and I don't know anybody that's been able to make it work. I had one guy that was sending me some input on that. I don't know if he's still out there. So I don't know if he's, he was having a little bit of success, but I just wonder if it was short term or if he's continuing to have any success. So if you're still doing that, if that gentleman's still out there, send me an email and let me know how that's going for you. But I just personally, I don't know anybody that's been able to make it work. And if you get good enough to read this, you're better off to go for the 4 ticks that we found is the perfect number to try to reach each time to make all your numbers work as well. But if you're not going to do that, the only other option I would say is, you can use this to try to catch swing trades. So be aware of that. But anyway, no sense in dragging this out today. It's been a brutal day already. I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again Monday. So again, no chart lesson tomorrow. We don't do them on Fridays anymore. But I'm going to wrap it up for today. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.